Never drove that fast in my life. Actually, I didn't drive, but just an awesome opportunity. Really enjoyed the pageantry of the race was in full effect, and my family got to come to be at the parade, which is really neat for them to be part of that, and really got to see a bunch of being on the west side. There at Ben Davis, I have a lot of roots. Spent there 9 years there. A lot of former players were there. I got to see at the race and at the during the parade, and went over and jumped out of the car and went and hugged some folks and jumped back in the car. And so just a neat time for me, just because I know so many people up in that area, and enjoyed taking our staff to Carb Day, and then hadn't even been a part of the race before. So neat experience, and our guys really enjoyed kind of embracing a huge part of our state's history.
What do you feel are 3 or 4 really important focal points for your team for the summer?
Well, for me, we're trying to get our freshmen indoctrinated into both our system in the weight room, get them indoctrinated into the classroom, and getting them squared away from a scheme standpoint. And so we have a systematic way of teaching them of our offense, our defense, our special teams, and so that's a big goal for us this summer. Academically, get some guys squared away so they get a good buffer for their academics for the fall, and then also, for me, it's taking that next step in our offensive system because it's new in the spring. The second phase of it is your time that you have during the summer, and as I said, we have a way for our guys to be able to view that and reinstall it again systematically for our players. And then the final phase is just the physical strength and conditioning. You want to come into the fall in the best shape of your life, and that's our challenge to our guys. And so they're going to spend a lot of time with our strength staff and limited time with our coaching staff. But those are the 4 things I think are really going to be our priority.
But these just perception class, what is that training? What are the components of that transition? I mentioned academically, physically. What all?
Well, a lot of these guys, they're reporting to college for the first time. Going to be away from home for the first time for several, so that's going to be an adjustment. Staying in the dorm, and several moved in today. The rest of them moving in tomorrow. And so that's a transition piece, just training collegiately. High schools do it to a certain level, but being able to handle the mental part, the physical part all at the same time, as well as having a summer school class is important. And then just getting to know our players. I think for them to be able to spend time with their future teammates and be a part of the family is a new experience for these guys. And so I think it's a critical time to get them plugged into our program.
As you kind of continue recruiting for 2018, what are some of the skill sets, positions you're kind of valuing now as you get into the summer with guys on campus?
We've gone through and we kind of know how many we want at each position. That's been defined. We've really done a good job evaluating through April and May, and now it's ready to continue that evaluation into the summer, per our skill set that we're looking for. Pretty balanced class. We're trying to kind of get a little bit of everything, as far as offense, defense, special teams as well. And so a pretty broad spread of guys we're trying to attack and evaluate for that. And the camps are big to get guys on campus. That's really our big charge now, is to get guys on campus this summer, to be able to spend time with their families and because I can't go out and recruit in April and May, so it's a big time for me to be able to sit down with them face to face and be able to start to build those strong relationships. Right now it's been over the phone, FaceTime, texting, things like that, but you really want to be able to build those relationships with the parents and with the players.
I guess procedurally, roster-wise, did everybody make it in the freshman class? Are there any injuries kind of to update?
I think we're pretty well intact at this point. There's always going to be a couple guys when you're incoming class that have to be able to go through and get the final transcripts in and to make sure that's all. We're close on a couple, but for the most part, it looks really, really good. Coach did a good job of identifying guys that have an opportunity to come here and make it academically. And as far as our current players, everybody is where they need to be academically. We have one particular guy that has to make sure he maintains a certain GPA over the summer, but for the most part, our academics here are pretty strong, and our guys do a good job.
The fact that you have such an intriguing opening game, does that provide extra motivation in the summer, or how do you approach it?
Well, I would say that Ohio State, as the opener, definitely creates a sense of urgency. I've said that many times. I believe that. There's no question that when you're playing, we played a different opponent last year, a different field. A couple years ago they played a different opponent, a very different field. And so when you know that, according to some polls, the #1 team in the country is coming to town, you're definitely going to get a different response. So I like it. I think it's great. I think our program needs this. I think it creates an atmosphere and an urgency that our guys are benefiting from, and we want to take full advantage of that. Well, I've never been here before. And both of you just coming through, just the landscape of the terrain is pretty impressive. Beautiful place, and the line was all the way deep. So lined up out here, passion. Obviously, you can already feel it, the energy. So we're excited to be here. Okay, I'm looking forward to tonight.
Tom, in 1 year, how did you improve the defense so much where it was until it wasn't what it was last year?
Well, we as a staff just really, I thought, did a great job of capturing the hearts of our players, getting their attention, helping them understand where we were, where we want to be, how you're going to get there. And we systematically taught them how to prepare to create a different outcome. And you could kind of see the growth through spring, summer, fall camp, season. And as the progress continued and the success started to come, it kind of snowballed in a positive direction. So obviously the challenge now is to be able to recreate that same focus, to be able to elevate from where we took them to get to a new point, which to me is top 25 defense. That's our goal.
Speaking of that, I mean, you guys have been there so close against some of these big teams the last couple of years. Does that begin in the summer with that kind of defensive mentality?
It does, and that's where breakthrough came from, for me. And that was, as I was riding from the end of the bowl game to the press conference in a golf cart, I thought I'm just sick and tired of being close. I think I said that in the press conference, and just the whole breakthrough mentality. Just that word just kept coming to mind. We're close, we're close, we're close. It's time to break through. And so, well, how do you do that? And to me, it's the daily, the little things. I just heard Bear Bryant speaking on an old video, and he was talking about the little things, how important those are. Well, it hadn't changed, And to me, creating that depth on our team, creating that confidence, the expectation of making those plays in the fourth quarter when it's critical, when it's 3rd and 6, when it's 4th and 8, when you got to kick a field goal to win the game. Executing at those critical times, and those are what you're preparing your guys for right now. And you can't just, it doesn't just happen differently on game day unless you prepare differently and do the little things it's going to take to allow those situations to occur. So it's a mindset, it's an attitude, and that's what we're trying to continue to build over the summer.
Some of the preseason publications have talked about Richard as maybe one of the better quarterbacks in the country. Some maybe it's his best arm, I think, or in the Big Ten. What's he need to do to kind of reach that status?
I think that the big thing for him is core confidence. I do believe he has an NFL arm, and others would agree with that. But playing that position, there's so much to do with decision making, so much to do with just core belief in not only yourself, but even the system that you're doing. And so putting him in position to be able to make quick decisions, distribute the football, get the playmakers the ball. We've got core guys around him that have the ability to take the football and do something special with it. So to me, it's just about putting him in position to be successful and allowing that to be, repeated over time. You start working on it. Right now, he's throwing with the guys individually. They're doing it all on their own, and that'll happen over the summer. And the 7-on-7s happen on their own over the summer. They can't be out there as coaches. So, but you just continue to build that repetition, the read progression, the film study, all those things that he's been doing on his own that will help build those decision-making opportunities and be able to make better ones in the future. That's what's going to come out. Protect the football, run the offense.